Hello everyone. Hope you're doing well. Last night I was taking a walk by the ocean and was thinking about many things about our psyche and how we react in life and what we are after. So I want to share with you some of the things that I think it might be of some interest to some of you, if not all. Let's discuss what is the ultimate purpose of life in the environment that we are living, in the planet with its own conditions and how communities and societies and the history and traditions and so on of the people of this planet have created and influenced us. In other words, considering the condition, the traditions, the history of Earth, the environment that we are living in, let's discuss what is the ultimate purpose of life. The way it is. Not that the way it should be, but the way it is because of where we are, because of what we are going through, have gone through, or because of the planet, that the way it is. So on that basis, let's examine what are we when we are born? What condition are we? Do we come with all what is wrong with us? Or things go wrong in our psyche after we are born? Well, I go for the latter. Everybody is talking about, or at least some of us sometimes, if we are not talking about it, we are aware of it, something called ego. We talk about these things, then we figure out what it is that we're really trying to achieve as the purpose of our life. And is it right or wrong in each one of your opinions individually? So what is ego? Is it something that is part of our being, the way we are born? We come with 2 eyes, 2 ears, nose, and mouth and teeth, 32 teeth, or whatever amount of teeth we have, 10 fingers, 10 toes, and so on, and ego. Is that part of what it comes with the package when we are born? What is ego? Where does it come from? And what is its role in dictating the purpose of our life, or in how it influences what we would come up with being the purpose of our life? Pursue it all through our life. Well, I think when we are born, we have no ego. That's what I think. My opinion. And the reason I say that is because we need to examine where ego comes from. Is it part of the program that is already lodged in our head or in us, as I mentioned, as part of our physical apparatus that is responsible to do something? Or is it part of our brain that is supposed to function as what the other parts of the brain are specifically chosen and have a mandate to function in a certain way? I think ego is a program. Ego is a program that is installed in us when we're born and through our growing up. Otherwise, there is no such thing as ego being part of our being, that we say every human being has an ego to begin with. I think ego is created after we are born. And the reason that it's created is due to the conditionings that we receive from our environment. So that's why I said, considering the environment that we're living in, what is the ultimate purpose of our life? And considering all that, it seems to me that the ultimate purpose of life of everyone is to bring psychological security. And what actually motivates or influences this search for this psychological security is ego. Ego is a program that unfortunately when we are born, we have no security system to avoid this program to be installed. In other words, through the traditions and what we see and how we are treated and how we are how we are interacted with our parents, our teachers, the laws and rules and expectations and all the other things that comes with it, traditions, tribalism, religion, whatever else that is involved in while we are growing up and living, interacting with it, we end up receiving a certain set of instructions which encourages us and gives us a severe mandate to protect it. There is no security from this program to enter and create a program called ego, but in that program there is a direction, an order to protect this program with our life. Until we die, we constantly trying to protect what this program has installed in us, instilled in us, and has ordered us to do, to behave, to act, to react. All seems peculiar or strange what I'm saying, but let's go further. So, this program creates a certain kind of a condition in us that makes us want to constantly protect our emotion. Something that affirms we are good, according to the standards that is set by the society that we are raised in, which comes from thousands or millions of years ago. Because when a million years ago or whenever it was that we, human being became who we are, there was no ego. It was all about survival. And at that time, the biggest environmental necessity in the environment that we were living, the necessity was to survive, to find food. So those were what we were focusing on. If there is a place that we're being hunted, so the most important mandate for us would be to survive, to escape, to make sure we're protected. That becomes the ultimate purpose of life. If there are wild animals after us, the most important thing would be to escape from them. That becomes the prime directive. That becomes the most important thing in our life to pursue. If there's no food, then finding food to feed ourselves becomes the ultimate purpose of life. So again, depending on the environment and situation that we live in, the ultimate purpose of life changes. So at the beginning, we were trying to survive from the wild animals, then survive from wars and hunters or peoples who were trying to capture the other one and use them to do work or whatever else, and so on. So that was the ultimate purpose of life at that time, to escape from all these dangers, all these negative elements. Food was one. Once the problem of food was a little bit eased up, then escaping from dangers that were, possible then, whether from animals or humans, or dinosaur time, or then later lions, or then later the worst dangerous animal of the history, human being itself, which surviving from all the troubles that they could create became the ultimate purpose of life. And then years and years, 1,000 years going, the problem of food was pretty much, compared to what it was before, solved. So that wasn't the ultimate purpose of life anymore. The dangers of wild animals and so on also pretty much went away. Then that was not ultimate purpose of life anymore either. Although today in the world that we're living, there's still lots of atrocities and murders and wars and so on, and innocent people get killed and all that. But again, in most parts, it is relatively safe. So escaping from such places or conditions or situations is also not the most important ultimate purpose of life anymore. So what is? What is protecting our emotions have become the ultimate purpose of life, which that stems from the program that is put into our brain while we're growing up, which is called ego. Ego dictates to us that we must be liked, we must be respected, we must be approved of, we must be affirmed, we must be confirmed, we must have a girlfriend, we must have money, we must have this, because all these things, having them, creates a certain emotion and gives us the emotion of feeling we are somebody, we are something, we are worthwhile, we are accepted according to the rules and expectations of the society, which in turn is that same program that is put in here, which reacts and acts in us as ego, and gets upset when somebody disrespects us, when it gets upset when somebody says something or does not approve of us. It gets furious when the girlfriend leaves, goes with another man, or we get furious if we are not able to buy this car, because that seems to be taking away a certain kind of status or an image from us. That image gives us a feeling, and to protect all these feelings, we're constantly, for the life of us, trying to satisfy and protect our ego, which in turn is what we understand at this day and age is that elusive psychological security. And of course, psychological security has lots of facets and lots of corners, but we're talking about this particular one that becomes the paramount of all the other parts of the description of psychological security. Do you remember there was a movie called Matrix? I'm sure many of you have seen it, if not all of you. And the blue pill and the red pill. It all seemed sort of far-fetched when we were watching the movie, but very interesting. But one would say, oh, how could they be attaching something to my brain and all that and so forth. But if you think of it, if you take all those physical photography and physical apparatus that was connected to someone's brain and created that whole story, interesting story, now go one step further and look at our world. The blue pill that we have all been given when we were born is the program that we have been receiving and been conditioned to conduct ourselves according to that program is all that tribalism and traditions and religions and politics and beliefs and all the trainings and behaviors that we have received and seen being done through families and through cultures and through ceremonies and through thousands of years of and generations of history and so on and so forth. That is the blue pill. That is the program that keeps us in a system which has dictated to us how we are supposed to be living. And all our life should be spent on protecting the program called ego. You see, when we were born and this program through these traditions and through these ceremonies and cultures and so on been put into our head, we had no way of protecting ourselves from receiving this program. So we had no security system, and we received it. But in the program, it has also promotes and programmed us to protect the program, protect the ego, protect the emotions that ego desires. And ego tells us, this girlfriend, mine. And if I don't have it, I'm nothing. That emotion is affected. To protect that emotion, I must now listen to my ego, the program ego, what it wants me to do in order to result in psychological security. Because my psychological security is no longer the food, the escape from wild animal, to escape from the wars, the escape from this and that. My psychological security today seems to be protecting my emotion, which is based on what ego decides how my emotion should be reacting to things. So now we are supposed to learn about our psyche and learn what has been done to us, why we react to so many things which really doesn't worth anything. And it's all about emotions. Oh, I feel very sad today because of this. I feel very angry because that was disrespectful to me. I feel very angry because she left me. I am very upset because I wanted this way, she wanted it the other way. And so we got a fight. So, because, why did you have a fight? Because you're all trying to bully yourself in listening to your ego, because your ego says you are somebody if you can control the other, if you can get things your way. You are somebody if you attain this, if you attain that, which all affects your emotion, how you feel about yourself, how confident you feel, and so on and so forth. It all comes from having to comply to what the ego wants you to do, which has a lot to do with nonsenses that you spend your life to protect that emotion, to make you feel worthy, to make you feel good, to get affirmation from some Joe Blow in the street. Tom, Dick, and Harry said something bad about me, I'm upset. Say something good about me, I'm really happy. Emotions. She responded in this way, I didn't like it. She didn't spend enough time with me. I feel like I'm not important enough. Or your girlfriend might say the same thing. If you're a lady watching this, you may say, he didn't buy me flowers, I don't feel important. Emotion again. He didn't spend time with me. He didn't buy this. He didn't, stay with me. He didn't come where I wanted him to come. He didn't like my anything to do with you feeling good about yourself and confident. It's all about bullshit. So what I'm suggesting is perhaps we need to take that red pill in the movie Matrix and get out of the system. And what is the system? System is complying and reacting to the programs that we have been given to conduct our life based on that. Meaning not responding to our ego anymore. Not responding to protecting our emotions and feeling that if my emotion is hurt, then I am hurt. What is emotion? Emotion is a thought, really, isn't it? You think right now something, you get sad. You think a different thing, a good thing, you get happy. hopes and this. And it's all up here. And unfortunately, up here has been shoved in a program called ego, and based on that ego, we go after life. And we try to protect our ego and our emotions to create that psychological security. So let's take that red pill and don't give a shit about things that really don't matter. Let's learn things, educate ourselves, and enjoy life and be kind to each other. Be, not follow our ego and the program called ego. And I think perhaps that would be an opening for you to examine why most of your disagreements and conflicts between a boyfriend and girlfriend, couples, happens. Because each one of you is trying to protect your emotions, which is based on the program called ego that has been put into your head through the time that you've been developing and you've been growing up by the society, parents and teachers and newspapers and news media and movies and so on and so forth. You've been given certain kind of set standards that's how you should live, that's how you should feel good, this is how you feel good, this is how you feel bad, and the emotion is this, your worth is this, based on what comments you receive from outside, based on what things you attain, what things you buy, what things you have, how other people interact with you. All of that makes you feel worthwhile or not worthwhile. It's all based on poof in the air, ego. So we are constantly living our life in pursuit of satisfying our emotions based on the directive of ego to create that elusive psychological security. And it's time for us maybe take that red pill, stop complying with all these conditionings, and make our decisions based on what is good for us, good for everybody else, safe for us, safe for everybody else, positive lifestyle, and develop to become that better human beings that we are all trying to strive. Think about it, and perhaps later on we can discuss it a little bit more. If we can all get away by understanding this and take that red pill, perhaps you will have less of a conflict between you couples, and you will be more tolerant of each other, more appreciative of each other, more in tune to what life really is, rather than what things I can get, what things I can make him to do for me, what things I can make her to do for me, what things gives me the feeling of I am the boss, I am controlling, I'm getting the things that is my way, and all that which really doesn't worth a shit, doesn't mean anything, does have no values. And how could we then get value from things that has no value? But we are in pursuit of all these things that don't have any worth, which we think if we get them, we become valuable. Have a nice day or night, and talk to you soon.